Welcome to our Bedtime Stories channel. Tonight's story will take you on a gentle journey into sweet dreams.
On the edge of a quiet little town, two children lived in a house with bright windows and a garden full of daisies. The older sister, Emily, loved reading books late into the night, while her younger brother, Daniel, preferred to stare at the stars until sleep finally found him. Their room was filled with soft blankets, a night lamp shaped like the moon, and the gentle ticking of a small wooden clock. One summer evening, when the air smelled of fresh grass and the sky was painted deep blue, Emily whispered to Daniel, "Do you ever wonder if the stars are watching us? The same way we watch them?" Daniel nodded, his eyes wide and curious. He had always believed that the night sky was alive, filled with creatures who whispered stories from one star to another. That night, as the children lay quietly, a soft flutter broke the silence. It wasn't the rustle of leaves outside, nor the sound of the wind. It was something lighter, more delicate, like wings brushing against the night. Emily sat up, her heart beating faster, and Daniel followed, clutching his blanket. At the open window sat an owl, unlike any they had ever seen. Its feathers glowed faintly silver, as if moonlight itself had wrapped around its body. Its golden eyes shimmered with kindness. Yet there was something mysterious in the way it tilted its head. Neither child spoke. They simply stared in awe as the owl blinked slowly, as if inviting them closer. With a soft hoot, the bird spread its wings and lifted into the air, leaving behind a trail of faint sparkles that hovered for a moment before fading. Daniel gasped, "Emily, did you see that? It's not a normal owl." Emily nodded, her mind racing. "It wants us to follow." Without thinking twice, the children slipped on their shoes, tiptoed past the sleeping house, and stepped into the warm summer night. The owl circled above them, waiting, then glided toward the hill at the edge of town. The children ran, their excitement growing with every step. The world seemed strangely alive, flowers leaning toward them, crickets pausing their songs, even the wind carrying a soft hum, as if guiding them along. When they reached the top of the hill, the owl landed on a crooked tree and let out a gentle hoot. At its feet, hidden among the tall grass, was a small wooden gate Emily had never noticed before. It was carved with swirls and tiny stars, and though it looked old, it glowed faintly in the moonlight. Daniel touched the gate with trembling fingers. "Where do you think it goes?" he whispered. Emily smiled, her eyes wide with wonder. Only one way to find out. She pushed the gate open, and together they stepped inside. The moment Emily and Daniel stepped through the gate, the air around them changed. The cool breeze of the hill turned into a gentle warmth, and the sky above grew brighter, filled with stars that shone like lanterns. Before them stretched a garden unlike anything they had imagined. Flowers glowed softly, opening and closing as though they were breathing. Silver vines twisted around archways, and streams of water sparkled like liquid glass as they wound between glowing flowers. Everything felt alive, whispering in a language too soft to understand. The owl flew ahead and landed on a stone fountain, scattering silver dust with each beat of its wings. Its golden eyes watched them patiently. Daniel reached for Emily's hand. "It's like a dream," he whispered. Emily smiled. "Maybe it is, or maybe it's the place where dreams come from." They walked deeper into the garden. Each step left faint glowing footprints on the ground. A group of dandelions bent toward Daniel, releasing tiny seeds that floated like fireflies. Emily laughed softly when bluebells chimed a gentle tune as she brushed past them. The air smelled of honey and fresh rain, comforting and sweet. From behind tall golden roses, a small creature appeared. It looked like a rabbit, but its fur shimmered as if woven from the night sky. Tiny stars glittered on its back, and when it hopped, its paws left trails of light. Daniel's eyes widened. "Emily, it's a star rabbit." The little animal circled them once, then sat calmly at their feet. The owl gave a soft hoot, as though greeting an old friend. More animals appeared as they followed the path. A fox with fur glowing like embers, a deer with crystal-like antlers, and birds with feathers painted in rainbow colors. None of them seemed afraid. They watched the children with gentle curiosity, as if welcoming them into this world. Daniel whispered, "I don't ever want to leave." Emily nodded, though she wondered quietly if magical places like this ever let visitors go. At last, the owl led them to a great archway woven from silver branches. Beyond it lay a clearing bathed in moonlight, stronger than anywhere else. In the center stood a tall tree with glowing blue bark and shimmering leaves that looked like glass. From its branches hung orbs of light that pulsed like slow heartbeats. Emily gasped. "It's beautiful," she whispered. The owl perched on a branch of the glowing tree and looked down at them, its golden eyes shining with quiet wisdom. Daniel stepped closer, his voice barely more than a breath. "What is this place?" Emily shook her head slowly. "I don't know, but I think we're about to find out." Emily and Daniel stood at the edge of the clearing, gazing at the glowing tree. The air around it felt warm and calm, filled with a faint humming that seemed to rise from the trunk itself. Each orb hanging from the branches pulsed gently, as if carrying a heartbeat of its own. Daniel whispered, "They look alive." Emily nodded. "Maybe they are." The owl spread its wings and flew toward one of the glowing orbs. With a soft hoot, it tapped the sphere with its beak. The light swirled until an image formed inside. The children gasped as they saw a boy holding his mother's hand, walking through a golden field. Then the vision faded back into the orb. Emily stepped closer, her voice hushed. "It's showing dreams." The owl blinked slowly, as if agreeing. Daniel's eyes lit up. "So this is where dreams live before they come to us." The thought sent shivers through Emily, but in a wonderful way. More orbs flickered as they moved. A girl riding a bird of fire, a child swimming through the sea without air, a boy stacking clouds into castles. Each vision was more magical than the last. Then Daniel noticed one orb hanging lower. Its glow was weak, flickering as though unsteady. Inside, a child wandered alone in a storm. Daniel's chest tightened. "Emily?" "This one looks sad." Emily joined him. "Not all dreams are happy. Maybe this tree keeps them all the light and the shadow." The owl gave a gentle hoot, as if to calm them. Daniel still frowned. "But why must there be scary ones?" Emily touched his shoulder. "Because shadows make the light shine brighter." Slowly, Daniel nodded. The star rabbit hopped beneath the dim orb and sat quietly, its glowing fur steady. For a moment, the flicker softened, as if comforted. Emily whispered, "Even sadness feels lighter when someone stays close." They lingered beneath the tree, watching the glowing spheres sway. The warmth in the air made their eyelids heavy. Daniel yawned and leaned against Emily. She stroked his hair. "Maybe that's why the owl brought us here," she murmured, "to show us where dreams are born." Above them, the owl spread its wings, silver dust falling like snow. Emily blinked as her eyes grew heavy. Daniel mumbled something she couldn't catch. "Already drifting?" The owl's golden eyes rested on them, patient and kind, waiting for the right moment to lead them deeper into the mystery of the garden. When Emily opened her eyes again, she was lying beneath the great tree. The silver dust had settled over the grass, glowing faintly like morning dew. Daniel stirred beside her and sat up, blinking sleepily. For a moment, he looked confused, then remembered the dreamlike garden around them. "We didn't go home," he whispered. Emily shook her head. "I think this is where we're meant to be, at least for now." The owl perched above them, watching quietly. Then it spread its wings and glided down, landing on the ground before them. It gave a low, steady hoot and turned toward a narrow path that stretched away from the clearing. Without hesitation, the children followed. The path wound through tall flowers that glowed with pale blue light. As the children walked, the petals brushed against their arms, leaving faint sparkles that faded into their skin. Daniel laughed softly. "It feels like the flowers are saying hello." Emily smiled, though her heart beat faster. She felt they were walking deeper into something important, something that wanted to be discovered. The path ended at a small pool of water. The surface shimmered like a mirror, reflecting not only the stars but also glowing shapes that floated just below. Emily leaned closer. She saw herself as a child, smaller than she was now, holding her mother's hand on her very first day of school. Daniel bent down beside her and saw his own reflection, then watched it shift into the moment he had learned to ride his bike. He gasped. "It's showing memories." The owl hooted gently, as if confirming his words. More images rose in the water, times when they had laughed, when they had cried, when they had learned something new. Emily whispered, "Maybe this is where memories turn into dreams." Daniel frowned. "But why would dreams need our memories?" She thought carefully. "Because dreams grow from what we live. They take pieces of our days and turn them into something new." Suddenly, the water darkened, rippling as a shadow drifted across its surface. A shape rose, unclear and shifting. Daniel stepped back, uneasy. "That doesn't look like a memory." Emily's voice trembled. "No, it looks like a fear." The shadow curled into shape's a loud storm, a towering figure, a night alone. The children held hands, steadying each other. The owl spread its wings, scattering silver dust over the pool. Slowly, the dark shapes dissolved, leaving only calm water. The owl looked at them with steady eyes, and Emily understood. We don't have to erase fears, we just have to face them together. Daniel nodded, squeezing her hand tightly. The pool stilled, and the stars returned to its surface. The garden felt quiet again, as if satisfied that the children had learned something important. Emily took a deep breath. "Where will it lead us next?" she whispered. The owl turned back toward the path, its golden eyes shining. The children followed the owl along a winding path that curved through the garden like a silver ribbon. The air was warmer here, carrying the scent of jasmine and pine. Tiny lights floated above the flowers, drifting like lanterns in the breeze. Emily whispered, "It feels like the garden is guiding us." Daniel nodded, his eyes wide with wonder. They came to a meadow where the grass glowed, faintly green and bent as the bowing to the owl. In the middle of the meadow stood a circle of stones, smooth and white, each one etched with faint carvings that shimmered in the starlight. The owl landed on the tallest stone and gave a soft hoot. At once, the carvings lit up, forming glowing patterns that connected from one stone to the next, until the entire circle pulsed like a single heart. Emily and Daniel stepped inside the circle. Instantly, they felt a quiet vibration under their feet. Images flickered across the stones, children laughing, families gathered around fires, stories whispered at night. Daniel gasped, "It's showing people." Emily studied the glowing carvings. Not just people. It's showing the stories of everyone who's ever dreamed. The air shimmered, and for a moment the children heard faint voices. Some laughed, some sang, some spoke words they couldn't understand, but all of them felt kind, as if welcoming Emily and Daniel into a tapestry larger than anything they had known. Emily whispered, "Dreams don't belong to just one person. They connect us all." Daniel touched one of the stones. The carvings shifted, and he saw his own face glowing faintly in the light. He blinked in surprise. "It knows us." Emily placed her hand beside his, and both their images appeared together. Around them, the other stones glowed brighter, as if acknowledging their presence. The star rabbit hopped into the circle and sat quietly at their feet. The carvings shimmered again, and for an instant, Daniel saw the rabbit's image glowing beside theirs, a reminder that even small creatures had their place in this world of dreams. He smiled softly. We're a part of it now. The owl spread its wings, and the circle's light dimmed. The stones returned to their quiet glow, leaving only the stars above. Emily and Daniel stepped back, both feeling changed. They had glimpsed something vast, a secret that tied every dreamer together. Emily thought of the children whose laughter she had heard, and a warmth filled her chest. This garden isn't just magical, she whispered. It's alive with every story ever dreamed. The meadow grew still again, the grass swaying gently as though the earth itself sighed with peace. The owl rose into the air and circled once above the children before gliding toward another path. Emily and Daniel followed, their steps lighter, their hearts full of wonder at what they had seen. The path grew narrower as Emily and Daniel followed the owl deeper into the garden. The air felt softer here, almost sleepy, and the stars above shone brighter than ever. The children walked slowly, their footsteps quiet, as though the garden itself was preparing them for something final. They reached a glade where the grass shimmered silver, and in the center lay a pool as smooth as glass. The owl landed at its edge, gazing into the water. Emily and Daniel knelt beside it, curious. The pool reflected not only their faces, but something more. They saw themselves tucked in their own beds at home, their blankets pulled up, their room glowing faintly with the light of their moon-shaped lamp. Daniel whispered, "It's us." Asleep. Emily's heart ached with wonder. The garden is showing us our way back. The owl dipped its beak into the water, and ripples spread across the surface. Slowly, the reflection of their room grew brighter until it felt as though they could step right through the pool. The star rabbit appeared one last time, hopping to the water's edge. It looked at the children with glowing eyes, then leaned down to touch its nose to the surface. The ripples grew calmer, forming a perfect mirror. Emily reached out, and for a moment she felt both sadness and gratitude. She didn't want to leave, but she knew the garden wasn't a place to stay forever. The owl spread its wings, releasing a final shower of silver dust. The children stood, holding hands, and stepped into the glowing reflection. Instantly, warmth wrapped around them. The garden faded, the scents and colors drifting away like mist. When Emily opened her eyes, she was lying in her own bed. Daniel was beside her, already asleep, breathing softly. For a moment, she thought it had all been a dream. But when she glanced at the window, she saw a single silver feather resting on the sill, glowing faintly in the moonlight. She held it gently, her eyes filling with quiet joy. Emily whispered, "Thank you," into the night. Outside, an owl's soft hoot echoed, low and comforting. She closed her eyes, clutching the feather to her chest. Sleep took her swiftly, carrying her back into dreams that felt brighter than ever. Far above, the moonlight owl soared across the stars, its wings scattering trails of silver light. And somewhere, in a secret garden hidden beyond the hill, the tree of dreams continued to glow, waiting for the next dreamers who might wander through the gate.
Thank you for listening. Good night, and sweet dreams.